President Trump announced plans to send National Guard troops to Portland, and we're now getting an understanding of when that could happen.
Meanwhile, some state leaders are trying to stop their arrival. Fox 12's Drew Reeves is in studio this morning with the very latest on this. Good morning.
Good morning. The Oregon National Guard tells us that it is possible that we could see guardsmen arriving in Portland by Thursday at the earliest. However, Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield made the latest move to stop that from happening, filing a temporary restraining order yesterday. His restraining order was filed in addition to a lawsuit from the state of Oregon filed on Sunday to block the president's order to send National Guard troops to Portland.
And so we wanted to draw a very distinct line in the sand that this is not okay. This is un-American in the way that you're doing it. And we're going to fight like hell to make sure that you follow the laws in our country, because this is absolutely unacceptable. That's why we did it so quickly.
Many state and local leaders have been outspoken against the deployment, saying National Guard troops are not needed in Portland. A federal judge is expected to make a decision on the temporary restraining order on Friday. That's one day after the National Guard troops could start arriving. Now, we spoke to Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Bomar with the Oregon National Guard, who says that 200 troops are expected to arrive. He says they will be stationed in multiple areas throughout Portland.
The responsibility is to protect federal buildings and the employees that will be inside those. Just keep in mind, it's still us. It's your friendly neighborhood guard person. People are leaving their employers right now to help support this mission.
And Bomar confirmed that all the troops that would be deployed to Portland would belong to the Oregon National Guard. He also said that one of the locations troops would be sent to would be the ICE facility in South Portland. And we've been covering the protests at that building since they first began earlier this summer. Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond is now live there to break down the whole timeline and what we're hearing from the White House. Mackenzie.
Yeah, the timeline is actually something that the White House addressed this morning in a strongly worded statement sent to address their plans to deploy the National Guard here to the city of Portland. Now, in the letter, it said, quote, "The radical left's reign of terror in Portland ends now." The statement also included a timeline of arrests near the ICE facility, including the latest on Sunday when 2 were arrested after a fight broke out between some protesters outside the building. It's not uncommon for this area to see demonstrations. In fact, as early as 5 this morning, there were already several protesters out here. This area has seen a steady flow of demonstrations actually since June, when protesters picked up after ICE began making immigration-related arrests, and 3 demonstrators were detained for blocking access to and from the building. Then there was the June 14th No Kings March that led to Portland police declaring a riot at the ICE facility and making several arrests after tear gas was deployed. Then on July 4th, fireworks were thrown at officers. And by Labor Day, demonstrators brought a guillotine, prompting federal agents to fire tear gas and pepper balls. It was around that time that President Trump began speaking publicly about Portland.
These are paid terrorists. These are paid agitators, and they're very dangerous for our country.
Then just days later, the city of Portland announced ICE had violated its operating agreement after our reporting revealed detainees were being held longer than permitted. Now, since then, 26 people have been charged with federal crimes, all tied to activity around the facility. As for Sunday night, after police made those 2 arrests, they did pull back. This morning, federal agents remain in charge of security here. Of course, we'll keep on checking on conditions throughout the day. We'll be live here all morning and bring you those latest updates once we learn more. But for now, reporting live, I'm Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Oregon.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you. A coalition of Portland faith leaders gathered to promote what they call peaceful resistance to oppose the president's decision to send National Guard troops to the city. The Trump administration claims the move is aimed at curbing violence and protecting ICE officers who have faced attacks at the South Portland facility during protests. However, faith leaders are pushing back against the violent narrative of the city. Augustana Lutheran Church hosted faith leaders and believers from different traditions to challenge what they see as the administration's attack on immigrant communities.
He's creating his own scenario. It's a shame to have a president of the United States who would openly lie again and again by saying we're a city at war. We are not. Our own city can take care of itself.
Every attendee left with a copy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 6 Principles of Nonviolent Direct Action and a call for all Oregonians to embrace and share them, especially as protests continue outside ICE facilities and federal buildings in the days ahead.
We are, of course, keeping a very close watch on all of the developments around the ICE building. We will bring you the very latest information as soon as it comes in, and you can always follow the story anytime on the Fox 12 app. All right.